So today we have here Gitt Fai. Honestly, how you pronounce your name, man?
Gitt Fai.
Gitt Fai?
Yes,
so I've been doing it right.
A lot of people say GittFai or GittFai. Nah, Gitt Fai.
Gitt Fai.
Like, it rhymes. Gitt Fai on the way. My tag rhymes.
How did you come about your name? Like, who are you? Like, what made you start who you are?
The name comes from, it means I'm my older brother's younger brother. Like, our last name, Faison. They call both of us Fai. But, you know, at one point, it was like he was Big Fai and I was Gitt Fai. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You the youngest or?
No, I'm the middle.
Middle child. How many altogether?
Altogether, on my mom's side, 4. But altogether, like, you know, mom and dad like 10. But yeah, as far as like the on my mama's side, I'm the middle.
That's cool. How did you get into music?
Really, it came from it just being around me. Like nobody I knew really was making music like that. Everybody listened to a lot of music. Like I just did like Uncle Lou early on, and Trick Daddy, and all these Rocket Rod and Disco D tapes. I don't know if you know about that, but that was like stuff that I was playing back in the day. It would be like mixtape, like cassette tapes. But they had like slowed down music on them, and like I used to hear them everywhere. I used to be like real fucked up about them. Then I started seeing like it was like my cousin's boyfriend, and I used to know he made music, so I knew it was possible. You know what I'm saying? That was like my first introduction. I was probably 6 or 7 years old. I started like rapping with my cousins and my older brother and stuff. But I first started like just substituting my name for like Juvenile. When you say Juvenile, I say Tyler. My name was Tazzy T. That was the first name. It was Tazzy T. And then when he said Magnolia, I say West Tampa. I just insert mine, you know, substitute my name or whatever. And that's how I started. Went from there to making my own.
Were you always in Tampa or?
Yeah, I was
always in Tampa.
Born and raised. Yeah, I started making beats probably like around 10 or 11.
So you've been young for a while now.
Yeah, I've been at it for a minute.
How old are you now?
I'm 29.
29?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So you kind of young, man.
Yeah.
You look a little older than.
That's why I say people always think I'm older, but nah, I'm 29.
At what point did you realize your music was growing? Because I know you say you started making music at 10. Like, at what point did you realize, yeah, I'm gonna start doing this as a serious thing? But most people, like, they start off as like hobbies, and like then they be like, okay, something's happening here.
When I really leaned into it more is when I think I did the talent show in 8th grade. Because the talent show used to be at the end of the year at this like big thing called the Bobcat Bash. Like you had to like not get in trouble. Like anybody got suspended or anything. Too many tardies, you couldn't go. So everybody tried to be on their best behavior at the end. It was like the last day of school. And the talent show was done. So the whole school would be there to see, you know what I'm saying? It was like a big thing. I want to do it every year, but I always got suspended the last day of school. Like every year, they try to make sure I couldn't come. I don't know, I was bad as fuck. But my 8th grade year, I was like on my P's and Q's, like trying to make sure I could perform at this shit. And then the day or 2 before the shit happened, I got caught with kissing in the hallway, the PDA, and they tried to say I couldn't go. So what I did the day of, I just snuck from. I was supposed to go to ISS the last day of school. I snuck through the. And snuck around the Bobcat Bash and then performed. Still got on stage and performed at the talent show. I rocked that shit. I jumped off stage and everything. I showed out. Everybody was going crazy. And then the principal came up to me at the end and was like, good job. I thought, because this is who I was dodging the whole day, like trying to make sure I didn't get caught. She came up to me and was like, good job.
You impressed her with that?
Yeah, I impressed her. I was like, oh shit, that could get me out of trouble. Then this is what I want to do, like this. You know what I'm saying?
Were you always rapping before you making beats, or?
Yeah, I was rapping first, because I was rapping at like 6 years old. 6 or 7, I forgot, something like that.
Did you want to be a rapper before you was making music, or was that just something you was just doing with other people?
Yeah, I just seen like my brother and cousin doing it, so I just started, you know. I picked it up and just kept going with it. Like I got more serious than they were with it. And then the same cousin, my cousin Josh, I came to his house and seen him making a beat on a program called Magic's Music Maker on the computer. Like the same way I told you, like with the rapper, like, you know what I'm saying, I had to see it, and then I was like, oh shit, it processed in my mind, like, oh, you could do that. Same thing happened with the beat, sitting there making a beat on the computer. I'm like, damn, like I ain't never thought about that, and I'm learning how to break down drums and synths and different instruments and shit. So I'm hearing music different at that point. So yeah, I kind of never went back.
As far as like making music and making beats, would you say rapping gave you an edge over that?
Yeah, still do.
Have you ever not liked the beat that you ever made?
Yeah, there's plenty of beats I made that I don't. Well, if I think it's garbage, it would like y'all have never hear, like nobody ever hear, like because I won't finish it. I just keep going. I don't know, like I try not to be too critical. Like, I try to go with the flow with beats, like I'm feeling. And then sometimes some stuff might come out that, like for instance, that I wouldn't use as an artist. Like, I can't rap. I wouldn't rap on. I wouldn't know what to do with. And then some other ones I know exactly what to do. I come up with 3, 4 songs to the chorus or 5 hooks while I'm making a beat, all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's also something that is not even my vibe that other people end up loving.
Is there a beat out there that like an artist had liked that you didn't like, and you're like, dang, why did he go with that, or why did she go with that?
It can be a young boy, Danger.
Danger.
It wasn't like I didn't like it. It was like I wasn't sure about that beat. I tried a lot of different stuff. Like you hear like the bass on it, like a pitch bend on it, it's like like it was little stuff like that, or like the instrumental by itself I didn't really like it. But when he got on it, and what he did with it, it made me love it. You know what I'm saying? It was like it sounded like it was perfect. And that kind of happened with Buck Sosa 2-Step too. I ain't really I wasn't sure about the 808s. I did the distortion and stuff like that on it. If you listen to it, like that's they pounded. But I heard it in the club last night and it sound perfect. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And as far as like when you're making your beats, when would you say like you realize, oh, this beat is done, I don't need to do anything else, I'm at my limit? Or do you just stop or just keep going?
Nowadays it's a more like I said, I'm feeling. You feel me? Like before I used to like feel like, oh, this is not enough or something missing. But I learned nowadays a lot of times when you feel like you can't, really think of anything else for the beat, and it's like you down. When you get to the point as a producer, like, damn, what else needs to be on here? It's like something missing. A lot of times it's a voice. You feel me? It's like someone needs to be on it. It's the vocal instrument. You know what I'm saying? That's what's missing on the track. So what I try to like really do minimal sounds. Like I try to like not do too much to my beats. I try to keep it simple. So really, I go into it already intending to do like not too much. Like,
what kind of DAW do you use?
I use FL Studio mostly. But recently I've been on MPC. Somewhat the software, but a lot of the standalone.
Did you always know that you'll be coming up as a producer?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's been like that since. Like I had a wave as a teenager. I had a hit song that I produced even then, but I was like 16, 17. And it was a song I had called Don't Mean Shit. The clean version was Just Ain't It, but it was on the radio. I had I used to do teen shows all the time. Like, even then, my way in was as a producer. Like that song, even I was producing for a group called Gitt RP DJ. I was producing a song for them, and after I thought of the hook for the song and made the beat, I was like, nah, I might have to keep this. I might have to keep this. And then I ended up keeping the song myself, putting one of the guys who sang in their group on the hook, and then making like different beats for them. But even that came from there, or even my step in to even use that studio space I created that in. So I always had a feeling it'd be produced that, got me where I need to be. I always seen it gave me an advantage also.
And speaking of your rap career, bring up a name. Tell me if it sounds familiar to you. Marijuana Faison.
Marijuana, nah. Marwan Faison.
Marijuana Faison.
Marwan.
What was that all about?
That's my name. Like that's when I switched. At one point I switched my name from Gitt Fai to Marwan Faison.
That was your rapper name.
Well, y'all was rapping as Gitt Fai first, and I was rapping and producing as Gitt Fai. But when I got at a point, like, cause I had like I told you, I had the teenage success, right? And that was all under Gitt Fai. Like that was the beginning of the Gitt Fai thing. You feel me? That was before Gitt Fai on the way. Nobody knew about none of that. Like I was a rapper. That's what people knew mostly. I was producing everything too, but people knew me as a rapper. And then what I did was after that situation fell off because I got arrested at one point for some crazy shit, and kind of all the money I had went into me getting out of that situation. And on the other end, I ended up, being free, but I ain't had nothing to show for it. I ain't had nothing, so I kind of had to lean back and get shit together as a person, not an artist or nothing in the music. I was still doing it, but I had to like get shit, get myself situated. You feel me? So it took time to do that. When I stepped back into it, like a year or two later, I like actually was releasing music again. I felt like I was a different person. You feel me? At that time, and I changed my name to Marwan Faison, just my name. You know what I'm saying? I was releasing music, and it was some dope music shit. Like, if you go dig it up, it's hard shit. Like, but what happened is after I did that for a couple of years, I looked up on Twitter. Like, I still like I wasn't too Twitter savvy. I looked on Twitter and seen so many people tweeting, "Where's Gitt Fai?" or tweeting my old lyrics, or remember this, the Gitt Fai this, or such and such / Gitt Fai. What happened to Gitt Fai? Where's Gitt Fai? Like, damn, what the fuck? I ain't even know like all these people is this. I thought all the old fans were gone. Like, I thought the people didn't care about, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I thought that shit was over. But then I looked and seen that and was like, oh nah, this I gotta switch my name back. So I switched it back, and this was like around like 2016. And then right after that, I got a placement with Youngboy. That was like 2017. Well, then I dropped my project Suit Up For, and top of 2017. And that's when I changed it back for real officially and got my placement the same year. So I really had to stick with it then. Yeah. But that was a little stint with the Marwan Faison. It's some dope shit under that name though.
That's all, man. It's a lot.
Appreciate it. But I was going there, I was like really rapping. I had some shit to say there. It was like I was going through a lot of shit at that time. So I had like a lot of pressure. I had just had a child. Like, I was a new dad. You know what I'm saying? That was like a new thing. And I was producing for a whole label of people that I put together. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I don't know. If you go listen to it, it's a lot of dope shit, but it was like a crazy point in time.
As far as handling the music lifestyle, your regular lifestyle, your day-to-day lifestyle, how do you go about that? Would you say it's easy, hard?
It's easier now. That thing is kind of it's easy and hard in ways. Like, it's different. Now that thing is like kind of moving along, it's become just a natural part of my life. Like forgetting, like, my kids, like, they know what's going on. My girl, like, everybody knows what's pretty much going on with my situation. Like, and because the success, like, everybody can see it. Like, I don't have to pretty much say, oh, this is what I'm doing, this is what's going on, or I'm going to the studio for this. Like, just bear with me. Like, no, they know. Like, even when I go, daddy's going to work. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. It's because this is like, it's income coming from it. That's what I'm saying. It's easier now. More so than before, when I was like, hey, just bear with me. Like, I know it's going to work. Just please, it's going to work out. It's my dream. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was harder then because, it was just a wish at that, you know what I'm saying? A wish at that point. It was like, it was just a dream. But now, actually, like, turned that corner is like different. So it's easier now, but it was rough at the point. But now it's just all, it's kind of all together. It's rolled into one. But the part where it's harder is because in everyday life, like, I could be with my kids, somewhere, and people just come up about music and shit. I don't really be on that. Like, you see me in the mall with my kid, like, just you can speak, but don't like try to show me a mixtape and all that shit. I don't want to hear that. Like, I don't want to be rude. Like, you might have the most fire mixtape in the world. I don't want to be that to be my first impression, which is like, damn, move, like, that guy.
I remember we spoke earlier about how, like, you don't like to really record people. Why not? Because
that's the same thing to me. Like, for one, my patience, I don't really have the patience for it.
Right.
That's the main thing. So I might not agree with somebody record, like, the way they recording or how they operate while they recording, but I might love producing for this person. You feel me? And I realized when I was like working at the studio, the last time I was at the studio, the lobby, that used to be swinging on 56. Shout out to City Boy. We had the studio swinging, but it was people I was producing for. Like, at one point, I was only making beats for them, but once we opened the spot and everything was swinging, they started becoming clients for me, engineering also. And I seen some of the relationships like was killed once I, was working with them in person. Like, we'll bump heads like creatively. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like I'd be invested in the track also because of my beat. You know what I'm saying? I'm engineering, so I'm like trying to make sure they do things the right way, and that's sometimes a clash. And I feel like it goes better when I just back away and just let them do their own thing, find their own engineer. I might set them up with another engineer that I know in the city, or your sound goes with Skylar, or your sound goes with B Money at, you know what I'm saying, at Glass House. So, you know what I'm saying? I try to put people in different places. I see it work better that way for me. Like, I'll take some things and maybe master it, but like recording the actual thing, no, I can't do it.
Sound like the guy that to like put stuff together type.
Yeah, I can help put stuff together, but like it's actually like recording it, like actual act of hitting the button and you being in the booth. Like I don't want to be that guy anymore. Like, I don't have those. That's it. But everything else, sometimes we would be in it. I just don't want to clash with people recording process because everybody got a lot, especially nowadays. Like in the last few years, like people got crazy. Like the recording processes have gotten crazy with people. Like some people go line for line or word for word, like punching in word for word. Like that's not just line. It went from line for line. Some people just like have like two words and shit, and they just keep punching in like that. Like,
I can't. It does get like
repetitive. But it's some guys who could do it. There's some people who enjoy it. So I just tip my hat to them and let them do it. Put them in position to do it. Honestly. Just do what I
like. And who would you say like influenced you the most to make music or to keep pushing on, even like when you feeling like your lowest?
Really, I get inspiration from a lot of places, but it's just I don't know. It's just I've been doing this shit for so long. It's just like this drive in me, just in me. Like even if it was like, cause it's been years where I ain't really like too much music that was coming out, and that would be my motivation. You feel me? Like I'm making music so I have something dope to listen to. Like even if it wasn't like a big, you know what I'm saying? Track I was putting out, like it just in me. But as far as artists who actually influenced me, to answer your question, Kanye influenced me for sure. He's been influenced me for a while. Like even when I first started making beats, when I told you I seen my cousin making the beats on the program, around that same time I found the instrumental CD at the same house. It was H to the Izzle, and the show produced by Kanye West. It was so early, like it was before Kanye like was really a household name and everything. So we saying Kane West at this time. We didn't even know until he had the car crash. I remember seeing the MTV news, like you know how they used to pop it up and and such and such happened. I remember seeing that come on TV and they were saying Kanye, Jay-Z producer Kanye West was involved in the car accident in Los Angeles. And like, oh, Kanye, that's how you say his name, Kanye. I remember that. Kanye, not Kane. I remember that. And then to see him again at another thing where he was hosting, he was like judging some like freestyle battle or something. But anyways, that's how early it was. Like I've been in tune with his situation since then, so it's been inspired me. That was like the first person I've seen like really take on. Like I'm a music producer and also rap. I was like, oh, he do all this shit. Like that's what I want to do. Like right there, like that's all. You know what I'm saying? So I've been following his career the whole time, and even now, like how he's been able to reinvent himself and redo. You know what I'm saying? And come out different ways. It's inspired me to keep going. Like. I had a few different ways myself. Like I said, I had the teenage situation. I had to regroup from there, and the Marwan phase on had an era. But then after that, it's the whole Gitt Fai on the way era. That's a whole nother thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what more people familiar with now. Like, but it's still people from all them other ways who've been on the ride the whole time. So, yeah.
Do you feel like you're still growing, or like you feel like
definitely? I feel like it's on the beginning, like very early.
Like you just getting into the Gitt Fai.
Yeah, I feel like it's just now getting into the I mean I may be entering a different phase now because like what's going on now is up until now I only had so many resources, you know, like only so much I had access to. It would just be whatever I can afford at the time or whatever. But now since things been coming together and I can actually even myself afford more things or better equipment or better sounds, and it's like that's going into the music also. Like people just been hearing me pretty much use what I could get together. That's why sampling was my thing. I didn't have no money for sounds and stuff at one point, VSTs. So I was just chopping up samples. You know what I'm saying? Like I could just find on YouTube or whatever. That's where that came in. But now it's like I could create the sample. You know what I'm saying? Like create other shit, like all that type. So that's even a thing. I got access to choirs now, live instrumental. You know what I'm saying? Saxophone players, all that type of stuff. So it's like I'm definitely going to keep trying to grow as a producer. I'm learning how to play the piano better. I want to learn guitar. Like even a vocal coach. I was looking at vocal coaches the other day, for where I'm, going. But yeah, I want to keep growing in this. I try to spend at least 2 days a week studying like chords and progressions, stuff like that, just to keep myself sharp. So definitely, I'm always trying to grow. Definitely.
Do you prefer making using samples when you're making your beats, or would you rather create from scratch?
It depends. I like both probably equal. Cause it's like with a sample, either I could chop it like to do something with it to where it's dope to me that nobody can notice the sample.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I'll come around here because it's always a bunch of producers here, or main producers here, but I'll just play it for them. Like, I bet y'all don't know what sample this is. If they can't get it, then I know I flipped it real good. But then there's other times where there's certain samples I find and it just, I want you to know exactly what it is as soon as it come on and make you, make it an angry face. Like, he ain't do that one. Like, he did that one. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. So that's cool too. But then on the flip side of it, I also like just coming up with stuff from scratch. Or even now, like just replaying samples. You know what I'm saying? Rather than just chopping. Like getting a replay, get the instruments they had, or redoing it in a new way, or just coming with something dope that I hope people will sample later. Cause that's something I've been getting. Like when I say like I got the access to the resources, like the instrumentalists and the different like just talented people.
Mm-hmm.
When I do things now, I'm kind of like having in mind, I want people to sample it later. You feel me? Like I want people to sample me. Like that's
leaving your legacy,
right?
Type.
Like I want to make this like something people could that people could like build off of later. Like the same way we were able to build off James Brown. And
mm-hmm.
I was able to look into even like I said Kanye or a different producer like Tomp or JD. You know what I'm saying? Different people that inspired me. I want to be that for other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What would you say? Would you say Tampa has its own sound, or like what would the sound be that other places just aren't doing it, just like Tampa?
Yeah, definitely. If you look at the songs I've produced that gotten popular in Tampa, they got their own bounce to it, like because we had the Gitt sound before, just the come on baby, the dance sound, but what I tried to do was take it and make it to where everybody could listen to it. Because what happened with that is only really females were listening to it, or dudes who still was dancing like that. Like the streets weren't really listening to that shit. You feel me? Or vibing to it no more. It got kind of played out. But what I did was I tried to bring the two together. Everybody looked at the city like Gitt City or Trigger City, like which one? But I feel like we both. You feel me? So what I did was I took the elements from the Gitt sound and I put it together with like the bass gonna hit hard and shit. You know what I'm saying? So you could be able to play it in the hood, like somebody the dope boys want to play it in their car. Anybody with nice car, you know what I'm saying? Anybody in the hood want to play it too, or slow it down or whatever. So I want that, but then I make sure the content on the track is street oriented also. You feel me? Like so, like even here, I'm so Tampa. The only advice I gave Buck was don't talk about dancing. Keep it street.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say nothing about dancing. They gonna dance their ass off.
Right.
Keep it street. And first thing he said was one time for the killers and the drug dealers. I didn't know he was gonna go there with it, but he understood the assignment, as they said. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Then two-step, the line from that one, dance but the 40 maybe two-step is a street song. You feel me? But it's even the dance, it's together, the dance, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Kind of play on it. He did it, he understood the assignment on that one too. Over East, he talking about literally his fucking hood. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's to doom diddy doom diddy doom da dum. So it balanced out. It's something for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So as of now, that's Tampa sound. You know what I'm saying? That's one sound for Tampa. But I feel like that's the most true to the core of Tampa. And I feel like it's other scenes emerging in Tampa also. Like it's like a grunge scene, it's like different like hipster scene, like Big Baby Scumbag, and then there's some dudes. Damn, it's fucked me out. They just did an interview with Beats and Chill, and they mentioned even me as an inspiration. Hopefully we can take a clip from this and tag their ass in it, but when I find their name. But they got a situation going on where they taking kind of the same thing I'm doing, but they doing it in more like like grunge way, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like they taking elements from Tampa. Like I think they said got a song like called "Burn My Shit," but it's more like a dark way, like it's some emo shit, like gothic damn near. Like, I don't know, shit crazy, but it's like popping off in different scenes, like, you know what I'm saying? It's a certain light on certain like street, like it's mostly street music with a light on in the Tampa, but it's definitely other scenes emerging in the city, and I feel like
couple artists that have been kind of rising up in the Tampa scene. Have you been keeping an eye on them, or?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I always keep my ear to the streets. Definitely.
Do you like the way that music is heading towards?
More so than like what it's been in the past, you know, because I seen when I was doing music, like first, when I first started catching the wave, like I said, as a teenager, it was a music scene. That was like around like MySpace days. So everybody was like trying to be a rapper at that time. Like that was early on social media. Everybody's rapping. But I seen a lot of people getting shows, having little movements, you know what I'm saying? So it went from that to really like dying off. Like, and it was just Tom G. And then Tay-Bay had a wave, and then that was like it for a while. Like it was no music scene. It was just that person doing, you know what I'm saying? And few people trying to do their thing, but there was no real scene. But now it's a whole collective of people, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of, you look on every side of town, there's people popping right now. You know what I'm saying? Like from north side to the south side, west, east, like the whole city, like really got shit. Even town and country out there across the bridge, St. Pete. You know what I'm saying? Like it's real shit. Lakeland, Playton City got talent. I can name people from everywhere. It's never been like that. I ain't never been to name people in different spots like that who really got something going. Like not just trying, like really got something going, like or really got talent like that. So,
and when you started getting your music out to people, were you how was that out? Because I know nowadays, like people, you just easy to just send your beats to someone email. How were you at first getting like your music out to people?
Really, I wasn't really sending beats to people before. It was like I said, I was the producer for myself.
Right.
I was a Gitt, and then I was I just had I linked with DJ Hitman. Like I did a song that was like, I guess he started playing it. But I did a song with a group called Young Breed back in the day. They had like a little wave that they was doing, and they was doing like teen shows. I did a song with them called "You Need Dick in Your Life." Yeah, and he thought that shit was crazy as fuck, and he was playing it. Him and this dude DJ E. Shout out DJ E. DJ E talked on the beginning of the song, and then he was friends with Hitman, let him hear it. Then Hitman hit me up, like trying to, be my manager and shit. And first my DJ, but then I had made a song, the other song I told you about that popped off. He heard that song, wanted to manage me. He kind of got that song around with DJ and playing it there. And that shit kind of took off. Off there in MySpace, that like everybody had it on their page and shit like that. That's how that shit used to work. Then they started hitting in the club with putting on their thing. So it happened real organically. And that was a gift and a curse at the time. Like, because I didn't know how to repeat it. Like when it came time where shit fell off and I had other music that was way better than that, I just didn't know how to recreate that moment again. You feel me? Like how to make that happen again. And that was like something that fucked me up for a minute. That's why now I'm like a fucking weirdo about that shit. I make sure shit pop off now. Like I'll go crazy to make a song like blow. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll do everything I can in my power. You can't make people like shit, but I mean, not too many other people finna have as many songs played in the club as me now. Like, when you go to a club in Tampa, there's at least 4 or 5 songs I produce. You gonna hear it. You gonna hear it. But it's like, because that, like, that fact that I didn't know how to repeat my success, even though I had better music, then like these songs way better than that one. Why y'all won't accept this one? But it was like a whole organic thing that happened that I didn't even notice was happening. By the time I was caught on, the song was already taken off. But it took like that fucking me up, fucking my mind up, and me being like not getting that at the time. I went through I read every book, the Donald Passman book, like, all you need to know about the music business. I read all those. I did all research. I looked up everything. I've been on each, like I studied Billboard. I do like a lot of research for this. I studied BPMs or the hit songs or what's trendy, like all that type of shit. Like I make sure I'm up on what's going on now, so I'll never have that happen again, like ever.
And to this day, what would you say the beat that you would say is like, wow, this is what put me on the map? Like every time you hear it's like, thank God, this is it.
That helped NBA me. Youngboy, Pour One.
Pour One?
Pour One, for sure.
How you get across to that?
That was, like I told you, I dropped my last project, Suit Up 4. That was the top of 2017. That was the beat to my favorite song on that project. My favorite song on the Tampa Classic. I made the beat, and that was like a victory for me then. Like, even just like making that song, you feel me? Like, I was playing that song over and over. And the beat, I posted it on, I forgot, Instagram or Facebook, one of them. And DJ Swift hit me up and like, yo, let me add my 2 cents to it. You feel me? Like, I thought he was gonna like send it back for my song. He ended up sending that to Youngboy, because he'd been working with Youngboy, and ended up being Pour One.
Are there any Tampa artists that you feel like are slept on nowadays?
Yeah, for sure.
Can you name any?
FTR Rod, for sure. I feel like he like the most slept on out of people who like actually work hard. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he slept on. Also, he get played a lot, but I mean, as far as like from the majors and all that, the national shit, I feel like he ready for that.
Do you have any future projects that you're working on right now?
Yeah, I got a couple projects ready to go. I'm kind of like putting the finishing touches on them, but I got a compilation called Scroll or Die. Kind of play off G the Trap or Die. Really, it mean Scroll or Die means like we got to stick to us. Like, that's my sound. I call it scroll music. That's what I do. Like, that's what I switched to Gitt sound from. That's what we do now, scroll music. Scroll is like kind of like the Florida version of trap, pretty much. Like, niggas rap they scroll. Like, that's the script. But anyways, that's the compilation. Got some dope shit on there. Got a few major artists on there. I don't want to get too much out, just to make sure we could get it cleared and all that first. But that's coming soon. Then I got my project, Suit Up 5. That'll be dropping right after. I just executive produced Tay Bay project. I did most of the production on that. That'll be dropping soon. I produced FTR Rod project. And that's pretty much it right now.
Actually, last one. What made you come out of your rapping cocoon when you were dropping that cipher?
Really, because I was just saying on another interview. At one point, like even when I got the placement with Youngboy, right? I could have just went straight back to rapping. You feel me? Like, and just kept pushing as that. You feel me? But I felt like once it happened, I was able to see how much a producer could do for Tampa. You feel me? Like, what could be done like for the city. You know what I'm saying? And I've been doing it. I've at least been trying to, my best to do it. Push the culture forward from a producer standpoint of what the advantages and resources a producer has. Now, at that same rate, like, I see what an artist can do. You know what I'm saying? So I like, even the cipher. Like, I wanted somebody to bring attention, like, do a good enough job to bring awareness to the cipher that Yayo was doing. I'm hearing the ciphers because I produced them, and I'm like, I want somebody to go in, like make it something like controversial, like something to share. Like, look, did you see this type of thing? And instead of going to artists and try to beat it in their head, like do this, like, you should say this or whatever, I just went and did it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that same, I could take that same approach with different things I want an artist to do right now. And more so, mostly to show other artists what to do. You feel me? Instead of just telling everybody, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this. I want to just be an example. When they see me do it, they be like, oh, that's what Faye did. Like, that worked for Faye. Let me try that. Let me try this. Let me try that. I see them copying other people, and it's like, now you're going to fail doing that. That ain't going to work here. So it's certain things I know going to work here just off of me being, looking at outside in or working with different artists. I see different things like I wish artists would do, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it myself, let them see it. And we'll let them go from there. You know what I'm saying?
Do you have any message for anyone that's starting off on their grind and like just feel worried about like, oh, this ain't working out for me. I'm a quit and just do the 9-to-5 thing.
I say, if you need to get a job, get a job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you always gonna need some type of income. But I feel like if you really want to do this or anything you want to do, it ain't just got to be music. Anything you really want to do it. Like, do it as much as you can at the time. Like, you feel me? Like, whether it's before work, after work, if you really want it, go hard for it. And it's always going. I've never seen it not pay off for somebody. Like, I've only seen it not work when you give up. You feel me? That's the only true way for it not to happen. I've been at this for like over a decade. Like, really, we count all the time it's going on 2. You feel me? And it turned around for me when 2017, like just 4 years ago. Like, people look at it now and be like, oh, damn, you did so much. I'm so proud. Like, but they don't know like how long I've been on this journey. Like, really, it took for me to lose so many times to learn how to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know not to do that. Like I explained before, me not knowing how to repeat success before, like to replicate my success before, is what made me somebody to get to know now. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the whole reason people want to know me now. It's like, I'm what's gonna catapult you out of here. Like, he knows the secret to get out of Tampa. Like, that whole thing. Like, that's the whole thing that made me now. Feel me?
Right.
My failures or my my mishaps or whatever along the way, that journey is what makes me strong now. Make me even, I don't know, make people give a fuck about me now. That's the whole reason people care anything about me, pretty much. Like, they like the beats, that's cool, but everybody got good beats. But how the fuck do you get this shit out of Tampa? That's the big question. That's the big, you know what I'm saying, thing on people's mind. Like, how do you get it out of here? Can it work? And somehow these songs been getting out. That's really how they've been going.
That's real.
So, yeah.
That's real.
Hang in there, you'll learn. You're gonna learn. This journey is gonna be hard, but you're gonna learn how to win if you keep losing. Either way, you might get it early and then lose it, but either way, no matter how it go, if you want it, go for it. The only way you're not gonna get it is if you quit.
Right. Well, I want to thank you for your time, man. I know everyone's busy doing what they need to do. Every time is important, so I do appreciate you giving me this time to get to talk to you, man. I do appreciate it all.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man. Shout out to everybody, you know what I'm saying? Look me up on Gitt Fai, everywhere. GittFai, Twitter, IG, Google. You know what I'm saying? Shout out my boy Kerry for what he's doing. Man. Do you, go up. Gitt Fai,